Good morning. I am doing this voiceover here because I think this video is going to be pretty lengthy, and this is something that I have never spoken about publicly, but it is something that I honestly felt took place throughout my chronic pain era. I spent about 16 years in this dark veil. And if you have followed me on Facebook, on social media, or have seen one of my past videos about my history, you'll understand. But here's just a recap. In 2001, I was in an auto accident. From what I understand, that was just the impact that God was trying to place upon my life to create this awakening process and into my divine gifts. But during that vulnerable stage of my life, I fully believe now that even then, throughout the time frame, I felt as if I was being attacked. I didn't understand it. I didn't know anything about the spirit realm. I couldn't even make sense of the Bible. And now it makes complete sense because the inability to comprehend the true meaning of what love is, what life is, and being able to understand the Bible. I stayed away from that fact. And so today what I am trying to get at is that there are spiritual attacks. And, God mentions in the Bible that we don't wrestle with things of this world. It is of principalities and the spirits who are here attacking us, or attempting to attack us, and that includes people in the flesh form in their negative spirits, as well as the spirits that are unseen. Because keep in mind, the fallen angels are spirits, and they reside here. So I guess what I am trying to talk about is spiritual attachments. And a spiritual attachment is an intelligent, disembodied human spirit that has actually attached itself to a living person's energy field, also known as the aura. The attachment spirit refuses to surrender to death experiences and want to continue certain behaviors that they have practiced throughout their life. They search for a vulnerable human being. So again, my auto accident made me vulnerable. I was already in a delicate situation even prior to that, because I lived my life as a victim. I was shy. I felt inferior. And here, they took advantage. They saw that this action was being taken place, and they decided to cling. And this isn't to truly frighten you. It's just to give you an understanding, because this is not a spirit that is here to possess you, things like that. It is just a spirit that comes into your field. And to better explain that is that when you approach a person who comes into your space, you feel this discomfort immediately sometimes. You know that this person is someone that you really want to refrain from having a relationship with, or that there is just something that you cannot explain that is off about this person and makes you feel uneasy. That is somebody who has stepped into your field, which is why now you have the ability to sense this negative energy that they are giving off as well. So that is the same concept as what this spiritual attachment is. But the sad thing is that this could be an attachment that you have had even as a child. And maybe I did as well, because I was always left out. I felt again. I'm really not certain, because I still felt God's presence in my life as well. I was just more so denying God because of fears that I had about, and misunderstandings about what I had experienced that pertained to God in my life. So I really truly feel that it took place after my auto accident, and it just progressively increased. And I have spoken to this about my husband towards the end of that 15, 16-year cycle. I began to notice more and more as I was opening up to seeing more light than darkness. I began to notice and look back and was like, there is something here that is really making me want to hate instead of love. And by the grace of God, he saved me, and brought me out of that, and took that a negative spirit that was trying to dictate fear into my life, trying to remind me of everything that was negative. And that's how you can decipher whether or not that you have this sort of attachment. And I'm not talking about just going through phases of life where you have a bad day. You should be able to look back and say, oh my gosh, has this been 10 years, 15 years of being completely depressed? Has it been 10 to 15 years, even 5 years, whatever it is? Or an entire lifetime of just feeling completely drained, defeated, nothing but negativity in your life, fogginess, mental issues, mood swings, lots of anger, lots of mind chatter. And that is something that I had all the time, that mind chatter, the negative mind chatter. And then thoughts of suicide, addictions, choosing to cover up instead of deal with, the inability to think straight, so much confusion and the inability to focus, panic attacks again, it's anxiety and depression, lashing out at people, and physical problems such as upper neck pain, fears and phobias that probably stem out of nowhere and just increase. You might see strange faces in your dreams, might be a little more scary and terrifying. And sometimes you might feel an uneasiness, and then you can't explain it away. And just a presence. And physical conditions can manifest depending on how long that this attachment has been taking place. And I always suggest, seeking medical assistance if that is so your need. But, and again, this is not to terrify you. This is to give you awareness that if you know your soul, you know your heart, you know your spirit, and you know that there is great goodness inside of you, but you feel trapped, you might have a spiritual attachment. And now you can begin changing that. And it is reinforcing love. You know, God says, love above all, because He is brilliant and magnificent, and He knows everything in this world can be resolved by choosing to love instead of anything negative, and that includes to get rid of the things that we don't want in our life, which does also include the negative spirits and beings that we are unable to see, that drain us of our light and our power. We are under a spiritual warfare. It's not against person to person, country to country, man against woman, or anything like that. It's a spiritual warfare that is taking place to prevent you from being your light. This is Christy. Much love, health, and healing your way. I am bringing purpose to your life. Take care.